moksha karana samyagriyam bhaktireva gariyasi svasvarūpanusandhanam bhaktirityavidiyate. Moksha karana samagriyam, among the instruments and cognitions necessary for liberation. Bhakti, devotion. Eva, alone. Gariyasi, most important. Svasvarūpanusandhanam, contemplation of one's own nature. Bhakti iti, as bhakti. Abhidiyate is designated. Among qualities conducive to liberation, bhakti, devotion, holds the supreme place. Devotion is defined as seeking one's real nature. Namaste. So this verse goes very, very deep into the actual nature of bhakti. Most people think of bhakti as worship or devotion to a particular form of God, whether it be Vishnu or Shiva, Lakshmi or Shakti, or even Brahman. But here we are talking about the real nature of the self. Now, in advanced bhakti, this is a concept called svarupa. Svarupa means one's eternal identity, or the real nature, underneath the artificial, temporary identity of the false ego. One's real nature in relationship with the Supreme. For example, one can be in a neutral adoration. Oh, God is great. Or one can be a servant actively helping in the mission of the God within the world or outside of the world. Or one can be a friend on an equal level with the Lord, or even a parent on a superior level. Or, best of all, one can be an ardent romantic lover of the Supreme in any form. And this is generally accepted as the highest. So this is the swarupa. This is the underlying spiritual identity after the false ego goes away. And of course, we know that actually, according to Advaita, the highest spiritual identity is identity with Brahman. That I am Brahman, aham brahmasmi. You are Brahman, tattvamasi, and that to realize the self as Brahman is generally considered the highest form of liberation, moksha, as opposed to mukti, where I still have a form that's separate from God, but in relationship with God, such as a servant, friend, lover, and so forth. So the commentary makes the point that svasvarup anusandhana in the verse means the same thing as nididhyasana, or contemplation of one's real nature. This happens after shraddha, hearing from the scriptures and the spiritual master about the real nature of the self and the real purpose of life, and so on. So this is the active contemplation of the Shruti text and the instructions of the Guru. That this is the Atman, that thou art. Thy essential nature is Brahman. Thou art that only. Sa Atma Tattvamasi. You are the Brahman. You are the Atman. And the Atman is Tat, that Brahman alone. This is the most profound truth, and it is that which we must meditate upon to get this highest realization. This anusandhana means contemplation of the real nature of the self. So when this goes on, it's like peeling the layers of an onion. One goes deeper and deeper until one finally comes to the center, the root of it all, which is, of course, Brahman, as Sat, eternal existence, Chit, unlimited consciousness, and Ananda, unconditional bliss. So even beyond that is the state where Brahman alone exists. Because even to understand Brahman as Sat, for example, eternal existence, one must know the non-eternal existence of the conditioned world. And similarly with Chit, unlimited consciousness is only meaningful in the presence of limited consciousness, such as human intelligence. And Ananda, endless bliss, is only meaningful in the presence of temporary, conditioned bliss in the material world. But when all cognition of the material world, the temporary, non-eternal, limited consciousness of temporary happiness only, when that goes away, there's nothing more to compare it with. So even the meaning of Satchit Ananda disappears, and one simply is unlimited consciousness and bliss without being aware of it. I mean, one is aware of it, but not as a symbol of, oh, now I'm eternal. Now I'm unlimitedly conscious. Yes, now I'm unconditionally blissful. It doesn't think of that at all. In full enlightenment, one simply is Satchidananda without any consideration of its meaning or value. Because there is nothing else. There is nothing else because the conditioned material existence has not even come into being. So one does not consider it at all. One does not compare oneself with it at all. One simply is that. Tattvam asi. And that is the real nature of self-realization. Now, the realization of one's eternal nature or eternal condition of existence is not something that is created by contemplation. It already exists, and contemplation simply reveals it by stripping away the false covering of upadhis that blocks our cognition of the real self in conditioned consciousness. So what are we doing when we're contemplating like this? Is that we are envisioning a state of being where we are Satchit Ananda. At first, it's imaginary, it's conceptual, it's symbolic. But gradually, it comes to be real because it already is real. And we are simply removing the coverings that block it from our cognition. So this is the path of sadhana. And this is bhakti in the Advaita sense of understanding one's ultimate constitutional position. Now, in dualistic bhakti, yes, things are different. One is looking for an eternal identity, which is different from the conditioned identity, but is also different from identity with Brahman. So that is still a dualistic conception. But in the non-dual conception, bhakti is a means of uncovering the real self, the real identity that never changes, that is unlimited, and that is unconditioned by any temporary values.
Tat Sat Om Shakti Om